Fight fans. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News. And I am live once again. My voice is gone from the festivities of the weekend, but it's raspy, it's coming back like everything else. So, I have to tell you guys about this alternate ending that came to me in a dream. You know, lately I've been having, freaking nightmares. Crazy dreams of certain stuff happening, you know. And what I noticed, this dream was diabolical, man. It was crazy. It was a crazy dream. I dreamed that Anthony Joshua was fighting Francis Ngannou again. And it's crazy because I looked at it and I don't know who that is. Verified. So, all right, sorry I had to take a call. I didn't have to take the call. Found out who it was. Knockout Boxing News. Hey, Counterpunch, what's up, brother? What's up? Benny_edits. What's up? Yeah, man, had a hell of a time yesterday. Went to this black and white party or whatever. And 50 Cent had it in Shreveport. That's my hometown, so everybody was there, like thousands of people were there. So a small city like that was just overcrowded. It looked like New York. So basically he brought New York there. But anyway, been having these crazy dreams lately. And then the dream last night, I dreamed that Anthony Joshua was fighting Francis Ngannou again. And I don't know why, because he knocked him out cold the first one, but it's a dream. What do? You know what I mean? And the crazy thing was, let me get some dumbbells, right? Because I'm gonna work out as I go. So the crazy thing about this was, it was in America. And I was like, oh shit, and I wanted to go, but I had to work, because we had this big show and, nobody could get off and all this stuff like that, right? So, we're watching this thing and I missed it because I was at work. I think we worked on a Saturday. If you guys seen my live stream with Derek Chisora and Joe Joyce, it was kind of like that. But then there was no live stream because I didn't go live. I just watched the clips, right? And it was similar to 2019, when Joshua came to Madison Square Garden, to show himself up. Eddie Hearn was going to show out his British, unified champion, and he fought Andy Ruiz, right? So as he fought Andy Ruiz, he got beat. Right? He got caught, he got beat. And this fight, this was probably like the first round. And, I was just looking at the highlights. So I was like, damn, and then they were scrapping. It was like, bang, 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 bang. And I was like, oh shit. And then Ngannou hits him with a left hook. He hits Joshua with a left hook, right on the chin. Then he catches him like right here and he makes a big ass knot right on Joshua's eye. And Joshua, he does that little thing where he's like that and Ngannou lays into him. And he hits the canvas on his knees. And I'm like, oh shit, right? And then Joshua gets up. He gets up. And the crazy thing was, Like, he gets knocked down again, like, because, you know, Ngannou comes out and, you know, like a raging, crazy maniac. And he's just chopping shots like Marcos Maidana from all angles. And I was like, damn, dude, you know, Josh was going to get whooped. So there won't be no undisputed fight. There won't be no Usyk 3 trilogy. There won't be none of that, right? So it's crazy because like I got a call, so I had to cut off the feed. Is this a dream or is this some rumor? No, this is a dream I had, man. This is a dream I had. So, greetings from South Wales. So, DJ Anton in the building. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. You know, a lot of people think you need dumbbells to work out. You don't. If you want to be cut and defined, just get, what are these, 10s? Just 10s. Make sure you get your form down, not hump your back, just come up, all right? Then it improve your form. And it's better for your muscles, you get cut. You know? There we go. Calisthenic alone, you can get cut, no weights needed. That's true. That is true. But, no man, Anthony Joshua, Francis Ngannou, and France was just getting the best of Joshua. And then the dream goes on, and I'm trying to look up what happened, the outcome, who was the winner. And every time I was gonna go to box rec, something happened like, hey, Kurt, we need you over here. You know, we're ready to shoot, and all this shit. You know, and it was like, it was crazy. So the whole thing was, the whole time, you know, that those shots were heard around the world, once again, right? Dude, let me ask you guys a question. How many of you guys get spam calls? And if so, how many spam calls do you get? My boy Kurt, top 5, no bullshit. King Grayson, appreciate you, brother. Yeah, man, I'm just trying to stay in shape for the most part. You know, had a scare last week, was hospitalized and all that shit. And they put me on this medication for like my bowels, because there was something going on in my stomach. And crazy thing, ever since I've been on that medication, I've been having these crazy, stupid nightmares. I mean, they've been bad, bro. You know, I get too many spam calls. Yeah, man, spam calls are crazy. I get 30 of them a day, at least. And they start at like 8 in the morning, and then they stop around 9 at night. So all day long, right? That's all I get, spam calls, all day. You know, so it's crazy. Who's next for AJ Dubois winner? Well, to answer your question, right? To answer your question, AJ and Dubois winner fights Usyk Fury winner, in case you guys don't know. You know, AJ and Ben Davison is a dream ticket. Yeah. I think I did a video on that today, so it drops at some point today, maybe in about an hour, but I wanted to go live, you know. Yeah, but who in between? There's nobody in between. There's nobody in between. Because what happens now, it's like a tournament. That's all it is. Turki Al-Sheikh does tournaments, bro. He's a tournament-minded person. So when it comes to fights, all he really does, he really just puts these fights together. Who wins from these fights, you already know who they're gonna fight next. So, for example, we already knew that Joshua was gonna fight the winner of Hrgovic versus Dubois. We already knew that. Bud versus Beterbiev, Bivol versus Beterbiev. Man, I'm looking forward to that fight. Middle box J, counterpunch to you. I'm looking forward to that fight too. Because see, here's the thing. Beterbiev is not a badder boxer as you think he is. He's more technically sound than he appears. You just see a guy coming in, throwing jabs and ripping rights to the body and lefts to the head and rights to the head. You see an absolute savage because that's the outcome. You're going to get smashed by Beterbiev. But the truth of it is, Beterbiev is a better boxer than people give him credit for. A much better boxer. He doesn't just come in and get hit. He's not a Ruslan Provodnikov. He's not a Derek Chisora. Okay? He's not a Rocky Balboa. He's a guy that times punches very well. Now, the way he delivers punches may come off like not even a windmill, but like rugged, right? But then exactly Metal Box J. Bivol is a lot better than people think he is. If you think he's better, you know what I mean? I think he's a guy that he has that Manny Pacquiao defense. So a lot of those punches he blocks with his forearms. If you notice, Bivol is so fast that he relies on his forearms to block shots because the shots that he's throwing, they're so fast, right? So that's what it is. Called Drago, right? Is that Dago? Called Dago, right? What do you think about who wins between Deontay Wilder and Derek Chisora? Derek Chisora knocks out. No, I'm sorry. Wilder still knocks out Derek Chisora. Because see, even if Derek, okay, let's say Wilder's jaw is gone, it's shot. He can't take punches. He's gonna have to get to Wilder first. If he can get to Wilder, he could probably knock him out. It would be the equivalent of, you guys remember about 4 or 5 years ago when people were trying to put Mike Tyson, like the old Mike, at that time against Deontay Wilder, and people were like, man, Mike with his technical sound, defense, and movement and all that could probably still beat Wilder at that time. And Wilder was what, 35, 30? No, he was like 33. I love Bivol, fast and has that European style that I love. So I think, this is what I think. Beterbiev and Bivol will come down to punch power and willpower. That fight, it's a very good fight. That's one of the biggest fights I'm looking forward to. Of course, the heavyweight stuff, but like I promised you guys, we're going to dip and dive more into welterweights, super welterweights, really. You know what I mean? 140, because basically the people from 135 are in between 140 because they know they've outgrew the division. Tank, if he doesn't go back to 140, he won't be what people think he is. You know what I mean? Because there's only so many fights that he can have at 135 before people start looking at him like, what have you done lately? Besides go to jail and beat up your women or whatever. What have you done lately? Because then you have at 140, Teofimo Lopez. You got older fighters like, Josh Taylor, which I think he's done. Josh Taylor's done, you know, but I know he was the shit back in the day. Inactivity is a killer. Bivol will be too fast for less active Beterbiev. I don't know. See, here's the thing. I don't believe that. And the reason I don't believe that Bivol will be too fast for Beterbiev is because if that was the case, Alexander Usyk would have been too fast for Beterbiev, and he was not. See, there's a such thing as timing, because see, he's not, no, I don't think he's faster, but I think he's a better time fighter. Like I said, he's a lot better than people think he is. So if he catches Bivol, well, Bivol's and he's and he gets caught because Beterbiev is going to time him. He said, okay, kid, you're younger, you're faster. You may have maybe much more stamina than me, but can you punch harder than I can? Can you take this solid ass Russian hammer right here? Can you take it? That's what it's gonna come down to, you know? So it's gonna come down to that. That's what it's gonna come down to, right there. It's gonna come down to Beterbiev catching Bivol, and then let's see if Bivol can take that shot from somebody that he's never been hit with like that before. Period. He can knock him out with a liver shot. He can go to the body as well. Look, Canelo, okay, ask yourself this question. Hold on, let me do a poll real quick. So, Kurt, you lost weight and it seems it's good. Man, I've been fasting lately, so when I don't act and I don't do stunts, I drive transportation. Okay, so between those three jobs, that's what I mainly do. You know, pick one. But when I do transportation, it's driving trucks and shit like that, and vans and stuff, and shuttles and stuff like that, you know. And anytime you're doing that type of work, you're sitting on your ass, which is crazy, you know. And it used to be a lot better than it was, but like I used to reach out to you guys, make a lot of videos, and you know, think of content and stuff like that because it gives you time. But it also gets you fat because it's so boring that you're like, dude, I've been sitting here 5 hours and we haven't even moved. You know, and a job like that, you have to be mentally strong. But what happens, you're going to be so bored, you're going to want to eat. You know, and they'll call like, hey, hot tamales, or they got the next new barbecue in this town we're in, and we have ribs and brisket and all this shit, okay? You know, cake and pies and donuts and all of this crazy stuff, right? Well, you gotta have to refrain from that shit, because what happens when I leave that show and actually go to a show that I'm acting in, then I'll look all like fucking Louis Armstrong because I've gained 15 pounds sitting in a van, truck, shuttle, or whatever. So what I've learned to do, I've learned to fast. So like don't eat after 8 and go from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. That's 12 hours. And then maybe 12, right? 16 hours. I may eat in between 12 noon and 8 p.m. again. And then I go on that fast again. Because sitting in a van and eating and eating and eating and shit, you know, Kurt, be kind to your legs. Absolutely. You know, no, I don't have wilder legs. So I'm good as far as that goes. So my legs are good. I don't skip leg day. Hold on a second. You know what? Your breakfast is very important. I mean, that's if you need breakfast. Because breakfast, all that is break fast. So, but anyway, look, check this out. Okay. Okay. Who is faster? Okay, so just made another poll. I'm gonna drink a little water. Why not? So, what do you think Bakali? What you think Bakali's performance? What do I think about it? Listen, I like Bakali. I mean, I like his style. He is the new reincarnated George Foreman for what we can see, right? So I think that Bakali showed that he had to do something. You know what I mean? Everybody's like, oh, Bakali this, Bakali that. Listen, Bakali had to do something. You know why? Because if he got whooped by Jared Anderson, nobody would care. Nobody would care about a guy that's currently living in Scotland from the Congo that fought nobody, but talked shit about everybody. So if he's talked about what he's done to these fighters, what he's done, he's talked about that. I beat up Joshua, and I stopped Dubois twice, and I stopped Joyce too, and Alexander Usyk, and who else? Tyson Fury knows too. You know, I've beat all these dudes up. And then he goes in there and gets beat by Jared Anderson. What do you think the outcome would have been? Well, ask yourself this question: what should have been? That's easy to understand, okay? Away with you. Nobody cares about you no more because you got beat by a younger prospect that's on his way to the fighting for the title, which if Jared Anderson would have beat Martin McCauley, he's beat Charles Martin. He's, who else is it really? He's beat Charles Martin, now he's beaten Martin McCauley. You know what I mean? And then they had him up against Wilder. And the weird thing was, he would probably beat Wilder, more than likely, you know. Jared Anderson didn't know what hit him. Poor matchmaking by Top Rank. Well, they pushed that kid. I agree with Jarrell Big Baby Miller. They pushed him into that. And you know what? You remember when Jared Anderson, just thinking about it, like right off my dome, you remember when he said the pressure is hard and the pressure is it's too much for me being 23? Do you guys remember that? And he broke down to the legend Roy Jones Jr. and Roy Jones like, look, God he ain't gonna put you through nothing that you can't handle. He ain't gonna do that to you because you can take it, because you're a champion, you're a warrior, you this, you that. You remember that? Okay, so maybe it was Top Rank. Maybe he was doing all that drinking and smoking, just trying to get away from the pressure that Top Rank was putting him in. Maybe that was the case, right? Maybe it was just, you know, maybe Bob and his executives were like, you like this kid, he's gonna be the next star. I can tell I see a champion. I've seen hundreds of them over the past 50 years and he's 51. Maybe, and he was like, I don't know about this shit, dude. I'm doing good, you know, doing my hometown fights and fighting these guys that I've, you know, probably fought before in the amateurs, but then you throwing me in there with these guys. Now, to be fair, Jared Anderson was cocky. He was cocky, okay? He was a cocky cat. He talked a lot, you know. Remember when Dillian White fought Jermaine Franklin, and then he was like, man, somebody please, you know, feed me this bum. Now, guess what? I want to see Jared Anderson versus Dillian White. Give Jared Anderson another shot. Fight someone else. Dillian White needs to come back to do something. Now, I wouldn't mind to see him fight Martin McCauley. I think that would be an excellent fight. I think it would be a bigger fight because Dillian White is, you know, the former WBC interim champion for a very long time. People forget that. He was a champion for a very long time, and then he was, you know, he was bullshitted. He got his opportunity against Tyson Fury, which was considered the best in the world, and he's one of the best heavyweights we still have to this day, and he lost. Has he lost since? No. Did he get upset? Sure, by Povetkin? Sure. You know, what about before that? You know, his only loss besides those losses was against Anthony Joshua. So, you know, I mean, Dillian White and Martin McCauley. McCauley needs these fights, right? So yeah, I've whooped the kid from Ohio. I've whooped him from Ohio. Now, I need to show them that I can hang with those guys that are at that champion level. because it sounds good. Sure, it sounds good. But at the end of the day, where do we rank Jared Anderson? We start peeling away that onion, people. We don't really know where to mark Martin McCauley. Okay? So, Dan White will KO him, Franklin or Jeremiah, millions. Milton is more. Jared speed at the moment, Kurt. McCauley versus Zhang, 55-45, slightly favoring Zhang. Here's the thing. You got to favor Zhang. Why? Because Zhang hasn't shown any weaknesses when it comes to durability. He's never. Think about it. Wilder hit Zhang. Zhang was like, no. Zhang was like, and he kept coming. He took those shots and he ate them like Big Macs. With extra special sauce. Okay. But we've seen Mark McCauley get hurt by Michael Hunter. And how big of a puncher is Michael Hunter? So is it that Michael Hunter is a better puncher than we give him credit for, which may be the case, or Martin McCauley doesn't have a better chin than we think he is? He could have took Jared Anderson shots, but he didn't take Michael Hunter shots. But then he is a big guy, and I think he's a bigger guy. He's like 284 when he fought Jared Anderson. Jared Anderson, what, 240? So he had 40 pounds on this guy. I think that Wilder's power is long gone. It may be, his confidence. I feel sorry for Wilder. You guys know I've made hundreds of Wilder videos, and that was just really, discussing his mindset. But the sad thing is his mindset, Burger King Whopper is better. I do like Big Mac special sauce. Grew up in America. What do you want from me? But his confidence, I don't think is there. We haven't heard anything from Wilder. You know what I mean? I think we need to put a, SOS on Wilder. Kurt Izabek Mulajov is a very good heavyweight prospect from Uzbekistan. Well, Adari, I'll say this. What's his name? Lazabek. Okay. Anything I can say about Uzbekistan now, there's some tough mother suckers. From what I've seen from Madrimov, oh yeah. You know what I mean? So I can't say anything bad about Uzbekistan or the people that are fighters from Uzbekistan. You know what I mean? They got a good high rating because Madrimov will be champion again. Oh, he will be champion again. Make no mistake about it. He's going to be champion again. It depends on who he fights and who they match him with. Boxing is about matchmaking, right? AJ beats Zhang by KO in the ninth. Well, that's realistic due to Zhang's weakness. Zhang's a 5-round fighter, 5-round effective fighter. What I found out, though, in the Joseph Parker fight with Zhilei Zhang is now able to, look at these calls, bro. These calls have came in countless. But anyway, he's been able to mix up what he does in each round, So Zhang holds his regard, and he might throw a shot, and, because he has good boxing fundamentals. He's just old. He's 41. You know what I mean? He's 41 years of age. And then here's the thing. Russian boxers are dangerous, very dangerous. Kabayel has beaten 2 boogeyman back to back. He has, but Zhang has showed me that he's just maybe too old. You know what I mean? But maybe that's always been a flaw with him. And maybe it goes back to nutrition, strength and conditioning. Maybe those foundations wasn't as solid as they should have been with Zhang. I mean, you know what I mean? If we call it a buck, maybe Zhang, probably always been a bit obese. See, you can be big and tall and be obese. A lot of people give shorter people that are wide a lot of flack, and they give those because they look funnier. They don't look as good. Whereas someone tall and big, that's always a better look. Because we're so vain as humans, you know what I mean? We look at people, oh man, look at that big tall dude. They don't care if that big tall dude has a gut and love handles and stuff like that, right? But if you see someone short, he's gonna be wide because there's nowhere to go because his height's not where that big and tall guy is. Nonetheless, both guys are obese, and it says, oh, it depends on your height. They say that, but is that the truth? Does it really depend on your height? Does that mean? I don't think so. I think you can get away with more based on how it appears. But if you're doing a physical, high-intense sport like boxing, you're gonna have to be in shape. You know, so carrying around extra weight and stuff like that. Look at Zhang. Zhang was what, 290? How much was Zhang in his last fight? How much was Zhang in his last fight? Can someone tell me real quick off the fly? How big was Zhang? How much did Zhang weigh against Deontay Wilder? Usyk versus Fury 2 is going to be a draw. Oh God, I hate that. That would suck. Because then that shit would draw out forever. And then by the time Usyk gets away from that Tyson shit, he'll be too old. And then boxing will be cheated because then we can't see fights like Caballo Usyk or I'm not even gonna say Joshua Usyk 3. I know a lot of people wanna see it. I don't. Will I watch it? Yes. Will I promote it? Sure. I love both fighters, but I'm not in love with that idea of a trilogy fight. I'm just not. You know, but it is what it is. There's no one else left. But Usyk could always challenge other guys. You know, you got Martin McCauley's trying to call out people. You know, so it is what it is. So 282. So Zhang was 282 pounds. That's a lot, bro. You know what I mean? And the question you ask yourself is, could he have more stamina at 250? Let's drop 32 pounds and let's see if Zhang can't. Let's see if he can't. Let's see if he can't get faster. You know what I mean? Will he hit harder? You know, you don't know. Will he hit harder? He'll probably be quicker, you know. Everybody ain't Andy Ruiz, you know. So Deontay Wilder said that he wants to fight Francis Ngannou soon in the end of 2025 or mid 2026. Andre Newby, where did you hear this information? Send the link, because I haven't heard anything from Wilder. Because I haven't heard anything from him at all. So I think it was 282. You need to counterpunch those phone calls. Bro, here's the thing. If you answer the calls, I think they record your voice so they can take your voice and then pretend that they're you and call other people that you know to get money, right? That's crazy. That's crazy shit, dude. Because see, here's a news flash, people. I'm obese. Do I look obese? No, but I am. I'm overweight. So, and then let me get in there and fight some kid. Because I'm not a kid. I'm somebody's child, but I'm not a kid. I'm a grown ass man. Let me fight a 25-year-old. Let me, better yet, not fight a 25-year-old because that's different. That's a different situation. Let me spar a 25-year-old. Right? So, and then I get in there and he pieces me up because I gas out. We do 5 rounds, 5 3-minute rounds. And that shit's, if you're not in shape, it's like hell. You don't even want to throw a punch. You'd rather, you know, That shows you what type of heart you have. Bud Crawford will beat the shit out of Nello. Show your abs. Nah, I'm not gonna show my abs right now. I'm not gonna show my abs. No. I ain't doing that. Anthony Joshua versus, I'm not Tyson Fury or nothing, but I ain't an Anthony Joshua either. Good point, Kurt. Caballero versus AJ is the toughest new match now. It will probably happen politically. Or is that politically? I don't know how political it will be. Where is Caballero from? How will it be political? You're not in love with the trilogy, but Eddie is salivating for that, and it must be talking to Turkey every moment he gets. And trust me when I say this, AJ never got over Usyk 2 losses. Well, I believe that. I think Eddie's doing exactly what he's supposed to. He's a promoter. That's his biggest client. That's his biggest client. AJ. You know what I mean? It's his biggest client, bro. That's his biggest client. Yeah, that's his biggest client. So that's the biggest fight that he can make. So, what up, my guy? Long time no see. Grab jab. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Kurt, I get Caballero is from Germany. Okay, so how will it be political? Tyson Fury win, lose, or draw. Had to fight AJ twice. Well, Tyson Fury needs to beat Alexander Usyk to make that fight worth a shit. Because everybody loves AJ again. Everybody now knows, Ben Davison, he's got with AJ, improved him, opened some shit up, and now AJ's knocking people out and stopping people. Why do you think Tyson Fury, what do you think of Tyson Fury's stamina? I think it's big for a big guy like that. I think Tyson Fury doesn't get credit enough for what he does, in the shape he's in. You got to think about it. He's an ex-party, and he's still a party animal. So he's able to do all that, drinking in excess, doing illegal drugs in excess, come on, partying in excess, eating in excess, you know what I mean? He's able to do all that, his history of all that stuff. And then when he gets in the ring, he's able to show us a person that, damn, not bad. That's how it goes. Okay, so that's how I look at Tyson Fury. 25-year-old, stop being a bully. I'm out, Kurt. Stay safe, mate. Battle Box Jay, appreciate you, brother. Okay, let me give you an example of Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury lost 100 and he was 400 pounds, and he lost 140 pounds. You remember that, with the help of Ben Davison, his friend. And everybody thought when he signed to fight Deontay Wilder after the AJ Wilder negotiations fell apart in the year of 2018, and everybody said the same shit, including me, that, man, Tyson Fury ain't gonna be worth the shit. He's lost 140 pounds. He ain't gonna be in boxing shape to fight someone like Wilder that's been actively fighting. What do you think's gonna happen to him? He's gonna get knocked out. That's what's gonna happen. He's gonna get knocked out. Cold. Okay? Is Dillian White and Deontay Wilder wife crap or fake or real? Because Dillian White said he slept with Deontay Wilder's ex. Here's the thing. maybe Dillian White did sleep with his ex, but understand Wilder has 7 baby mamas or 8. So maybe Dillian White slept with one of them. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily the pretty girl that just broke his heart now. You know, Taylor Swift. You know, maybe he was talking about another one. Okay, so maybe that's the case, right? And see, I haven't eaten anything since last night at 9. And I feel good. I don't feel like, oh, I'm starving. No. Maybe food is the enemy. You know what I mean? Maybe people that get addicted to eating food. I'm bored. It's 4 hours now. We ain't ate since 2, and it's 6 p.m. So let's eat something. You know? Kurt, I always wanted to see Dillian White versus Jarrell Miller. That's a good fight. Very good fight. Because we know Miller has a chin. We know he has a chin. And we know Dillian White, I think he's tough as long as he doesn't get hit in the chin from a particular punch, right? So, you know, and we know Dillian White's heavy-handed. Be a good fight, bro. Be a very good fight. And the question would be, who would promote it? Like, and that's the beauty, though. Jarrell Miller is in a good position now because he knows, you know, he's in good graces with Turki Al-Sheikh. He knows how to sell himself, and because he knows how to sell himself, he knows how to sell a fight. You know what I mean? The fight will be good. You know, it will be a very good fight. Why is Dillian White versus Derek Chisora in December? I don't know. I don't want to see trilogies look, we've seen Dillian White, Tyson Fury trilogy. Why would we see that? I didn't want to see Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. He's already beat him. He's beat him in the second fight. See, Wilder, Tyson, Chisora, Dillian White, look, I don't want to see that fight. I don't. You know, I don't want to see that fight. I'm sick of seeing unnecessary trilogy fights. I'm tired of seeing them because they're just pointless. They could fight someone else. Dillian White should fight Jarrell Miller. You know? That's more as countless as, you know, now Joseph Parker called out Derek Chisora. No, he called out Dillian White. And that's a fight that, yeah, I would see because that was a close fight the first time. He just didn't beat the shit out of Parker because Parker dropped him and White ran out of gas. So Parker, White, great fight. You know what I'm saying? But seeing a fight we've already seen the outcome of, why see it again? And I think that's unnecessarily how fighters get hurt and abused in the sport because someone's trying to make something or push something on a particular fighter that they don't necessarily need. You know, so Kurt, what about Andy Ruiz versus Mark McCauley? I would watch it. Yeah, Andy has a chin, but to be fair, we need to let Andy's hand heal. You know what I mean? In time. Yeah, I would love to see that fight, but Andy now, and here's the irony of Andy Ruiz. Let me counterpunch Andy Ruiz for a minute. Andy Ruiz talked about why he couldn't do this in 2020, or why he couldn't fight this person in 2020, and do all these things. And, oh, I was really injured. It was my knee. And then the next week, you seen him doing squats. I'm like, there's no way you'll be able to do that, bro, with a knee surgery. I knew he was lying. Then he fights Chris Arreola in 2021, year and a half later. After that scare, he fights Luis Ortiz another year and some months later, okay? And then you don't hear from him for a whole nother year. And his thing is, oh, I was going through this and going through that. And don't get me wrong, Andy's wife, or whatever she was, his baby mama, she tried to burn that man. She did try to burn him. And I know what it's like to be heartbroken. That shit does not feel good, and you really don't want to do anything. You really don't want to do shit. So maybe that, I'll give him that. I'll give him that. But Andy now actually hits Jarrell Miller and jacks his hand up. Now he knows what it's really like to have an injury. You see what I'm saying? That's my counter to Andy Ruiz. That little boy cried wolf shit only goes so far. Because sometimes you keep crying wolf, that wolf's gonna come. And that wolf came in his hand. Now he's gotta sit out like, damn, with his hand in a sling, walking around, and, you know, like, damn, it's really hurting. It's really hurt. I'm hurting. I need drugs. Usyk versus Zhilei Zhang is not a bad, but I prefer Usyk versus Parker is more popular. Would be a good fight because, see, Usyk now has to deal with someone that has some of his own attributes. Remember what we talked about yesterday about Usyk having problems with smaller fighters. Is Parker a smaller fighter? No, but he's smaller than the status of people or the heavyweights of today. See, Parker's able to get in and out. Parker's younger. Parker's 5-6 years younger. He's like 31 years old. You know what I mean? He's with Andy Lee. Andy Lee knows Usyk because Andy Lee helped Tyson Fury. He was in the corner of Tyson Fury and Usyk. So since we know that, you know, Joseph Parker has a very good chance. Right hand leads. Come in, come out. Don't get countered. You know what I mean? Work the body. You know? I would love to see that fight. Joseph Parker versus Alexander Usyk, 2025. Let's see it. Let's go. Joseph Parker needs his opportunity because Joseph Parker ain't lost since when? Since 2022 when he took on the Juggernaut, when the Juggernaut was the Juggernaut. He was the undamaged Juggernaut before he ran into the big wall of Zhang, right? So he ain't lost since. He's won 5 fights straight. The 4 fights in 2023, and the one he just had with Zhilei Zhang. You know what I mean? So that was the days of reckoning and knockout chaos. He's been victorious. On top of the other 3 that he had, that were tune-ups to be fair, but at the end of the day, he still was gaining momentum. What happened to Parker? Nothing coming up with him like Joseph. Exactly. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Oh, yes I can. Joseph Parker is set to fight Zhilei Zhang in a rematch. That's what's happening with those 2. You know, so can't act like I don't know. I know. I do the news. So, Kurt Dillian White versus Alexander Usyk. I mean, the fight would be interesting, but he wouldn't beat Usyk. He wouldn't beat Usyk. I mean, it would be, I think it would be interesting because we've seen Usyk have trouble with guys like Chisora, right? Dillian White is somewhat was considered a younger Chisora on the way they're chopping, the way they throw shots. Dillian White, I think, will take it to Usyk like or similar to what Derek Chisora did. You know what I mean? Because that's how you fight someone like Usyk. You don't play with him. You don't try to box him because he's going to ring and he's going to box circles around you. That's what he does. And then he's going to push you and pressure you with the same shit that he's been doing and been beating you with round after round. He's just going to do more of it. And you're like, shit, this dude's throwing twice as many punches that he did in rounds 3, 4, and 5. Now he's 8, 9, and 10. He's doubling and tripling up his punch output. You know, nah. Can Joyce come back? No. Joyce may get one good win, but I don't think he will be back like he was again. Bars. And I like Joe Joyce. I think Joe Joyce is he's a good fighter. He doesn't have a big ego. You know what I mean? I feel bad for him. We got knocked out by Zhang because Zhang's old. You know what I mean? Well, so is Joe Joyce. Be fair, he's like 38, 39 maybe now. So Joyce versus Moses Atoma. Well, I think what'll happen, Frank will be happy to make that fight. Frank will feed Joe Joyce to Moses Atoma. That's what's going to happen. If that happens, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Because, Joe Joyce has always pretty much been chopped liver. He was just that liver that you put in your mouth and keep throwing, you can't swallow. That's Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce showed like, yo, I know Frank don't like me. Me and Sam Jones have been cool, and we've been proving everybody wrong. I might be slow and I might be throwing slow punches, but I never stop and I can take that shot. And I've been taking these guys out. And that's what he did. See, Danny Dubois was supposed to be much bigger than he was before he ran into the juggernaut, because people underestimated the juggernaut. But now his mutant power, his magical powers are gone. He no longer has that chin like that. He can get hurt, and you can tell even when he fought Derek Chisora is like, what, 40, 41? You know what I mean? When Chisora hit him, he was kind of a hesitant fighter. Whereas before, he would eat those shots and then come back with his own, boom, come back with his own shot. But he didn't, that didn't happen. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Oh God, what is it going to be? The Three Stooges? Again, Wilder, AJ, and Fury. I'm over that, please. Some fresh meat up here. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Get somebody that's fresh. Caballero. Where the hell is Frank Sanchez at? Frank Sanchez. Jared Anderson. Throw Jermaine Franklin in the mix. Right? We got Joseph Parker. Okay? Anthony Joshua's still around, but everybody can't fight Anthony Joshua. We got Martin McCauley, that's only 31 years of age, right? Who else do we have? Otto Vailane just won his next fight, which I don't think he's going to make any noise. We got Moses Atoma over there saying that he'll fight anybody, right? So, to be fair, Frank Dubois had more promise in his age. Well, yeah, I think Dubois, though, or should I say Joe Joyce, his handicap was his age. Because he's always been older than Joshua and in them, right? He's always been older. But he hasn't been there or done what they've done, Bakhmut Jalolov, he's either an idiot or a genius. Why do I say that? He went back to the Olympics. And the question is, if you focus more on plan B than plan A won't work. And that might have happened to Bakhmut Jalolov. He might have did something, hey, let me go back to the amateurs and win the Olympic gold. Yeah. But I'm like, you're a professional fighter. You know what I mean? How is that going to help you professionally? You've already started. It would be different if you were coming out fresh, like Joshua and Usyk and Oscar De La Hoya and Floyd Mayweather should have been and Roy Jones Jr. should have been. It would be different if you were coming from the Olympics with that type of reputation and that's your foundation. It would be different if you had that, but Bakhmut Jalolov he's already 14-0. You know what I mean? When he goes and does that shit, what does he look like? He looks like a fucking bully. That's what he comes off to me. He comes off like a bully. Zhang took years off of Joe, yeah? Ooh, he beat Joe up. But the style of Joe Joyce has that style like Ruslan Pervandikov. Where in the hell is he? Exactly, he's not around no more. Because certain fighters don't last long. Look, God bless the dead, Arturo Thunder Gotti. He wanted to fight a lot longer than he did, but he couldn't. The way he fought, blood and guts warrior. No. You're going to have some sense. See, everybody be talking about what Joshua and he didn't get over the Usyk losses. you know what I mean, and all that. And he said, like, you know what, I've actually learned a lot from how I used to be versus how I am. I think Joshua knew, if I keep fucking fighting like I used to, I'm gonna be, you know, this is not me. I just want to fight the best, you know. He's gonna sound like a retard. He's gonna sound like a punch-drunk fighter, and I think he knows that. It ain't the fact that, and then what happens if you keep trying to prove the critics wrong, like you don't have a chin, so what happens? You keep hitting and taking punishment and taking punches, and people still won't say, he ain't got a chin, he's chinny. The fuck are you talking about? He took Klitschko's shot. Klitschko put his ass down, bow. He gets back up. Those short, quick, hard, fast punches from Randy Ruiz. Yeah, he got his ass whooped, but he took the punches. He wouldn't sit down all laying over the floor. You know what I mean? So, like, I think people need to understand what boxing really means. Moses will finish Dale's career for good. You know, Kurt, what about Moses Atoma versus Derek Chisora? No, bro, no. What is that? Young lion versus old bull? No, bro, no. See, Derek Chisora, I like him. I like him as a personality. I like his character. He's gave us great fights in the sport. I remember the Derek Chisora, the Dillian White rematch. I remember the first fight. A lot of those, they risked a lot in that fight, people. They beat the hell out of each other in the first fight. And even in the second fight, I know it was against him because Dillian White was that proposed fighter that was, you know what I mean, of course, looked upon as kind of a second in command at Matchroom and all that behind AJ and shit. So he had a promised future, whereas Derek Chisora has lost some, won some, lost some, won some. I understand that. But if you keep pushing people to do certain things, you know what I mean? I don't want to see him hurt. We don't need another Gerald McClellan. I was just looking at I'm looking at him recently. Has anybody seen Gerald McClellan lately? Has anyone saw him lately? Come on, bro. It's sad. You want to see if Derek Chisora walks in here right now, okay, and he walks in here to train, and I see him, I want to have a conversation with him. You know what I mean? I mean a conversation that, you know, we can talk about, you know, an intellectual conversation about fighting and who he thinks this and who he thinks that. You want someone with that mindset. You don't want a fucking dummy. You don't want someone just, you don't want a tool. Come on, man. Kurt, Moses Atoma would beat Derek Chisora. Yeah. You think? It would be worse than that. He might kill him. A young ass dude like that's fresh, ain't never been tested. Southpaw, heavy ass hands, got something to prove, chips on his damn shoulder. Come on, bro. That's how deaths happen. Then you put him in there with Derek Chisora that's been in there with every fucking body. Dillian White, Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk. He's been in there with Joseph Parker. He's been in there with everybody. Then you want to throw him in there with somebody that has something to prove. No, bro, no. Derek Chisora says he's not gonna stop fighting, that he needs somebody to scare him off and nobody yet. You know, I'm gonna do a video about that. I seen that article. I'll do one about it. McClellan was a great fighter. He was a dangerous fighter. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. But you know that mentality. At some point, you have to understand who you slayed, and understand you can be slayed and you can be killed. Nobody wants to see no one permanently hurt, and no one wants to see anyone die. I don't want to see that shit. Because we have deaths every year. They're just not deaths of people that we know. But don't get it twisted. That shit can happen. And sometimes it's not right away. Okay? Maybe it's the long game. Wilfredo Benitez. You know what I mean? He lost his fucking mind. You know? Pritchard Cologne.
They're going to eventually die, but they're going to die a miserable death. We ain't none of us getting out of here alive. Okay? Let's just call it what it is. You know? Johnny Fisher versus Moses Atoma, says St. Don, but that would never be allowed to happen. Chisora needs to be saved from himself. He's got nothing to prove. He's a solid dude and best resume, hands down. I agree, but you know, maybe he got that Apollo shit. Come on, man, there is no tomorrow. So maybe. Sounds like the fire alarm is off. But no. Oh, let's check the votes. Let's go. Okay. 62% of people think Canelo Alvarez is a faster fighter than Artur Beterbiev. Okay. Now that's out of 55 votes. Me, I think they're 50-50. Me personally. You know what I mean? So I don't see, like, look at Canelo versus Bivol, right? Canelo versus Bivol, it wasn't because Bivol was just that much faster than Canelo. He was busier. Moses Atoma versus Jarrell Miller. It would be interesting, but at the same time, Jarrell Miller, I think he's too experienced for that now. You know, and I think he's only going to get in better shape. You know what I mean? In the better shape, I mean clean. I don't mean that shit he was doing before. But once what we haven't heard from Jarrell Miller, we haven't heard him with any failed drug tests. We haven't seen about any scandal of that magnitude. Oh, it was dick medicine and all that. it wasn't for that. All right. Chisora versus Zhang. No way. No way. No way. But Moses versus Char. They would probably make that fight. They would feed someone like Char to Moses. You know, they would do that. So, but yeah, guys, it was a pleasure to reach out to you guys again. Like I said, I'm gonna promise to do more lives, so the lives will be coming more. I don't know when I go back to work, so you'll see more of me live, probably in here or somewhere, right, in this good old world of US of A. Beterbiev's skill set is much better than Canelo's. Well, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. We'll talk more on that tomorrow. But again, guys, be blessed. Have a great week. And then until next time, everyone has been counterpunched. Peace.